Welcome to the Perpetual Incompetence podcast, a journey in competitive self-improvement.
Join us as the three of us endeavor to improve our lives by competing in a series of low-stakes challenges.
In each episode, we will conquer the challenge and then define the rules or metrics for victory.
We'll have 2 weeks to do our best, and at the end, one of us will be crowned victor. Hi, I'm Mike Collins.
Hello, I'm Dan Collins, the Wheat Treater.
And I'm Travis Brabin, postal pile driver and bearer of the Incompetent Cup of Iridescent Splendor. We each have one idea for a challenge for us to attempt in the next 2 weeks. After we've all presented, we'll decide whose idea is the best. Who wants to go first?
I will go first.
Take it away.
Here I go. So, this is one that I brought up before, but I feel like I didn't give it the gravity that I could have. So, we've done so far this year, some kind of mental challenges, a dietary challenge, but now I think it's time to bring it back with a physical challenge. So what I think we should do is we try to do cumulatively the most push-ups. So that's so push-ups are good. They work the triceps and the pectoral muscles, as well as good for the core of the body, which is always important. It's kind of akin to doing a plank, but harder. So, which we've done before in the podcast, and that was kind of a flub. That's okay.
I don't know, I felt pretty good about it.
It was fine. It just wasn't earth-shaking.
Yeah. So, but anyway, my idea is let's try and do like the most. So it'll be
You count each one.
count every single push-up that you do, and the person at the end who has the biggest number wins. So that's kind of the idea. So it'll be good, we'll work out the show muscles. They're ones that impress everybody when you have big ones.
Yeah.
So
I've been recently I've been trying to do more push-ups, so I'm already kind of getting going on this.
yeah, so you'll be ready to go. I have not been doing push-ups.
Yeah,
That's okay.
I have a fitness test for the Air Guard in a couple weeks here, and push-ups is part of that. So I have a pretty compelling reason to do a lot of those.
Well, there you go.
And I
All
mean,
right,
now that we're eating gluten again, we'll probably need to do a little bit more working out.
That's true. So, but yeah, that's basically my thing. I think we should do that, and I think it'd be good. Be a very macho thing to do, right? We're macho
Yeah,
guys.
big macho men. Yeah.
I like it. I do worry about it getting the tanky planker treatment, and that we just like, yeah, I don't know. I did a thing. I don't have much to say about it. We did it.
Well, so my argument against that is the plank thing was do some planks every day, and it was like, all right, so you spend 2 minutes standing there, well, planking there, and then
Not
that's
standing.
it.
If you're standing, you're doing it wrong.
Oh. But so this one would be more active. Like if you had the gumption, you could be in your cubicle at work just pumping it, ripping some out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Excuse me, I gotta go do some
push-ups.
push-ups.
Yeah, it's push-ups.
Gotta go push the earth away from me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I'm on board with it. Like I said, I need to do these anyway. I just don't know. There's a lot of like intellectual meat to chew on here.
Well, I
It's all
think there's
muscle meat to
here's
chew
another
on.
thing too, because after day 2, maybe you're going to not want to do any, and it would probably be good to take a break. So like,
I think after like push up 2 is when I'll reach that point.
yeah. Well, it's
you can
'cause
work
your
on like
body,
a strategy,
yeah, you can figure out how you want to do it because you can't do like 1,000 push-ups every day because your muscles will explode and you won't be able to do anything ever again.
Yeah.
I will say, as a word of warning, early days in the COVID quarantine, there's like people are all talking about doing 100 push-ups a day or whatever. So I tried doing that, and like I tried working up to 100 a day, like quickly, and ended up like hurting my elbows and shoulders, sort of. So Beware of that danger. That if you try to go too hard too fast.
There's actual real physical danger.
I do recall, I mean, granted, I was 20 years old at the time, but in boot camp, I feel like I did like 1,000 push-ups every day. That's what I remember. Well,
Yeah.
but
Well,
maybe,
you were also like a statuesque person at that time.
well, not when I went to boot camp. I was kind of
Um,
a fatty. So, I mean, so I know it's possible. Like people are capable of doing it. So,
All right. I like it. Let's see what the other options are, and then we can check it out.
all right.
I'll go first or second rather. Mine is not a physical challenge. Mine is sort of a fun challenge, but one geared towards improving appreciation of things and learning the skills and the nuance of creative development. I think we should create the best and most interesting cover song.
okay.
You don't have to come up with an entire new song on your own, but coming up with an interesting cover of a song forces you to understand what's good about the original and allows you to put your own interesting spin on it.
All
I
right.
think that this would be fun.
That is a fun idea. Off the top of your head, what are you guys' first cover song that come to mind when
Oh,
Travis said that? What was it? I'll tell
well,
you mine.
this is a bad one, but what came to my head was the final countdown, and I'm not doing that one.
No, that'd be a hard one. The one that came to mind mine was "Party in the USA" by Miley Cyrus.
I mean, that speaks to what's fun about cover songs is that you have that little bit of humor too, and that you as a burly man can cover a song by 100-pound woman.
Yes, burly man capable of many push-ups. He's-
So yeah,
Dan.
I think that's the challenge is just who can make the most interesting and most impressive cover.
I like that. I still want to hear what Dan's song is.
Oh yeah.
Well, the first thing that came to my mind was Surfing Bird.
It's-
Well, when we did the Justin Bieber thing, I learned Baby, and I made a really like kind of sweet like singer-songwriter version of Baby that I sang many times to myself. I never recorded it, and I forgot how it goes, so no one will ever hear it. But
I once did a really chill like indie kind of cover of California. Oh, was it the Tupac song?
California Love.
Yeah, that's the one. It was pretty good. I rapped in it.
nice.
It's recorded somewhere in the dark
would like to
recesses
hear
of
that.
my heart. Yeah, it's around
Somewhere
here.
somewhere in like I mean the depths of my parents' basement I think is a video recording of us covering the DuckTales theme song and My Generation by The Who when we were in high school.
Our,
Oh
uh,
yeah,
our My Generation cover was on point. I thought it was pretty good actually.
yeah.
It was pretty good.
We
Yeah.
were in a band.
We were
That was
rock
fun.
and roll.
That was a long time ago. Holy cow!
I like this challenge. It sounds fun. I know I will struggle to find the time to do it. Although I'll probably come up with it while I'm driving in my car back and forth from work though, which would be kind
Yep,
of fun.
and my sneaky goal here is for Mike, for you and I, to get us to brush off the cobwebs on some music production software so that we're in better position to compete with Dan when we make a new theme song in a few months.
Yeah, that's a good point. So we don't get
Good
utterly
luck.
crushed.
All right, what do you got, Dan?
Well, so this is actually a suggestion that was suggested by our mutual friend Kelvin quite a while ago. I held off on suggesting it for a while because I thought it was kind of similar to the Justin Bieber one.
Okay.
But the intention behind this is, especially coming off this gluten thing, I feel like we can be a little judgmental of people who do things that we don't fully understand or think maybe is kind of dumb or not, you know.
That's fair.
And I think that's something that we can work on to improve ourselves.
Especially
So
since we were all very judgmental of people who fake gluten insensitivity in the last
yeah, or
episode.
who just like make a big deal out of it, So
Yeah.
I was thinking we could delve into the world of people who get judged possibly more than anybody else. Are you
Okay.
guys familiar with the TV show My Little Pony?
Jeez.
And are you familiar with the multitude of grown men who obsess over it,
Yeah,
called
Uh,
bronies?
I've
yeah.
heard of them.
I've
Yes.
I had some friends in college,
Yeah,
young men, computer engineering students that
yeah.
were quite
There's a
proud of this
huge
lifestyle.
community. They have conventions, um, BronyCon, I think it's called, where people
Hmm.
obsess over My Little Pony, a kid show, but there must be something to it because there's a lot of them. And I would say that demographically, they're not much different than us three.
Well, here's a question: is that BronyCon coming up anytime soon, like the next 2 weeks?
I don't know about that.
Because I feel like we wouldn't do this justice if we didn't go to BronyCon.
Well, the thing is, maybe if in 2 weeks we all become bronies, we'll just go because we'll want to. We got to
That's
get the
fair.
new merch or
I uh I mean, going along with what we said earlier, if Justin Bieber comes to town, there's a high likelihood that I will be very close to buying those tickets. Actually, I
yeah,
almost had the opportunity to,
yeah.
but
He
the
was in
timing
town a
just
little while ago.
yeah. So anyway.
But yeah, and I will say there's a newish movie came out a year or two ago. My Little Pony. It's a 3D animated one. I watched it
Mhm.
and I enjoyed it. It was pretty good.
Okay.
Isn't like I don't know much about the culture, but I have heard it justified in that it's the My Little Pony stuff is all about like friendship and like good core value kind of stuff.
Yeah,
And
well,
it happens to be like
friendship
rainbow
is
colored and whatever.
yeah, well, friendship is literally magic, I think,
Mhm.
is part of it.
Oh.
Mhm.
Friendship is magic
I
is the subtitle of the show
I'm not opposed to I'm not opposed to it conceptually. My concern is that I won't be able
that you're gonna
to.
fall in love with it.
No, no, I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that being part of who I am and, incorporating that into my my self-image. But I just don't know if I could live the lifestyle enough in these 2 weeks without having you know, a convention to put myself into like to rub elbows with other bronies. I that's it. Yeah.
It's so I mean, there's value here in that just I don't know. The image that it's conjured when you say brony, it
I think we all kinda get the same kinda maybe slightly overweight, neck beard kinda,
see,
that's
I don't know.
about
For
it.
some reason, I sort of imagine like, I think that there were like weightlifting dudes that were super. I think like it's not just your typical neckbeard sort of
Well,
guy. I think
yeah, I
like there
mean,
were
you
like,
can't stereotype them, but that's the image that comes to my mind.
I honestly,
sure,
the majority of my knowledge about this comes from that episode of Bob's Burgers where they kind of they're making fun of this, and that's as far as it goes, I guess. Besides sitting near those guys that I was talking about in school, and they were discussing who their favorite character was or how they're bummed out when they left the show, which I thought was an interesting conversation to be having in physics class. So. I okay. All right. I guess we gotta pick one of these.
yeah. Um, I not that I'm afraid of doing it, but I'm just because of the quality of Mike's submission and the desire of my own submission, I would lean away from Dan's.
I hmm. I both of your guys, if I gotta pick between you two, because Travis's is gonna require a lot of work on my part. Dan's is
Mine would require a lot of watching cartoons.
well, I know there's podcasts and stuff that within the culture
Oh, I
that
didn't
we
even
could.
think of that.
Yeah, you could really actually, that with that being said, because we could really live that at work. All
You
right,
know, and
I'm
like
gonna lean. I think I'm leaning towards
and
Dan's,
they could get
honestly.
like I mean, I think there's probably some deep lore. Probably, I don't know. There has to be, right?
Now I'm getting kind of excited about it.
and
This
like we
I
could.
think there's
Oh, hold
something.
on. I,
Travis is.
why is this always me trying to steer us towards a rash? I mean, we can do it.
I mean, honestly, I like the push-up one a lot. I was kind of excited about the brony one. I've been holding on to it for a while.
Okay, out of yours, you two, I'm picking Dan's. So, what do you guys got? You can convince me out of it, I guess, but
I
What
mean,
what is the proposed benefit?
becoming not being as judgmental, because the first thing that I think of when I think brony, I'm like, oh my god. And I think same with the gluten thing. We can be judgmental, and don't judge a book by its cover. That's it. I don't know. There's not much more to it. I just think
Yeah,
it'd be really
I
funny.
think we've done that particular challenge a couple times now,
Yeah, I
right?
know, but that's why I spread it away from the other ones.
those are also the ones that everybody talks to me about because they thought it was
And
fun by putting
I'm
ourselves into
honestly
that.
curious, because I've read things. I think I've even seen a documentary about it. I don't remember anything about it, but I'm more honestly, it's like I want to. Sometimes you hear about something and I want to like write a paper on it just so I can do extra research and try to understand it more. You know what I mean?
I've
You ever?
never had the urge to write a paper on anything in my life, but
Oh,
I I
okay.
uh, I can respect that. But
Oh, can we go back to the gluten-free days?
well, Dan, okay, so if you can't pick yours, well, who between me and so you said mine.
Well, I mean, I like both you guys's. I think all of these are pretty good. I don't know, Travis. If you couldn't pick yours, who would you pick?
Well, we're doing a cover now. Let's talk about doing a cover for a minute. That it could be pretty fun, and I think that would be fun for people to listen to as well. You could even do like an instrumental cover if you don't feel confident.
Question: can we include other musicians?
I would say that's absolutely allowed.
Yeah, I think so. I don't have any strong thoughts. As long as you're like a main creative force in the thing, you can't just like go ask, up to someone busking on the street and say, "Hey, can you play a song for me?" and then record them doing it.
Well, I'm just saying because I'm in a band and I could just like get my band to. We could just do a cover.
Sure. I mean that would be easy for you. Maybe that would detract from your points, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to do that. I think I'd probably do a solo thing.
I my stance on this thing is, like I said, I'm willing to do the My Little Pony thing. I just think that we're treading the same ground pretty frequently as far as like try this thing that has perceptions about it and see what we think, and that can be interesting. But I worry if that well is going to run a little dry.
Well, I don't
Hmm.
know. I think that's a fountain that's overflowing with possibilities. So I would say I don't know if it'll ever really run dry, just because it's always useful. It's always good to expand your horizons. You always get something out of it, no matter what it is.
Yeah, I get that, I do. But how much you want to bet at the end of this 2 weeks if we do that? We see like, oh yeah, there's some pretty compelling stuff, and there's really cool stuff, and I really changed my opinion, and I'm not going to judge that particular segment of cultural whatever identity as harshly as I did before. I
Or
learned
it might.
something.
What if it's the opposite, where it's like, oh no, there's
No,
something
no,
wrong
no,
with these people.
Willing to bet it's probably not that.
no. Okay. Well, I could come back around to the covers. That does sound like fun. I don't know. Where are you guys sitting?
I mean, I would honestly. I mean, I need to do push-ups. That would be
Yeah,
pretty.
I honestly I like the idea of the push-up one because it's actually something I've been thinking about that I want to do. And I mean, the benefits and self-improvement are pretty cut and dry on that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think um, it would just be efficient for me to have this be the subject of the podcast and something I have to do for the guard fit test anyway. And
Oh,
it would also give us a good opportunity to rehash just pure physical challenges and see if the tanky planker was a kind of a fluke and that there's more to chew on here, or if these just kind of vanilla physical challenges maybe don't have as much to discuss as we were hoping.
I think we can if we do it, we can emphasize strategy because there's a real thing of if you do too many, you're not going to be able to do any for a couple days,
Yeah.
you know. So there's and like honestly, nutrition might even play a part in it if you're pushing real hard.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do
All right.
that. I think it's the boringest out of the most boring. Boring. Yeah. Whatever.
Boring interest, yeah.
Yep, that's it. But yeah, we could do that. I'm down. That was my idea, so we can do that one.
Let's keep My Little Pony on the back burner for a little bit longer.
All right,
It's
All
not
right.
going anywhere.
I got an idea for an honorific right off the bat here. The Earth Mover. Right? Because you're moving the Earth away from you. Or
Yeah.
what the Earth Repeller, the repeller of planets.
The Earth
Ooh,
Pusher.
the repeller of planets. The Planet Pusher.
Planet Pusher. That's a cool. I like that. It's got
Planet Pusher is
alliteration.
pretty good. The danger here is if we get it too soon. You know,
Well,
what do we do
what
then?
else you got? Can we butcher it a little bit first?
Well, we did. We got the last one pretty quick.
We do
Didn't
have
we?
one in the past. I mean, it's not in the current season, but the World Hammer was one. And I feel like it's a little close to that a little bit.
Nah, Planet
I
Pusher.
think
is
Planet
completely
Pusher is
different.
pretty good.
What about like cosmic? We're getting a little big here.
Like I said, you wanted to move away from world and moved right into cosmic. And like,
The pectoral
Ooh.
poltergeist.
Heck Pounder.
I don't know.
Colossus.
Ooh, Colossus.
Just
That's one
Colossus.
we haven't brought that one up. That's a great word.
Yeah.
Colossus.
The chess champion.
The Colossus of chests. The Colossus of man boobs. Right?
The Boobinator.
The moobs. That's the word that they use. The moobinator.
Mr. Muscles.
Mr. Universe.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. The Terminator.
The Terminator. That's a good one.
Somebody should make that into a movie.
Yeah. The Terminator 2.
Oh.
T2. T1000. Turbo
Tits.
Good one. Turbo tits.
I'm still leaning towards Planet Pusher. That's pretty good. A little safer.
I had already forgotten about it. Planet pusher. What's another word for like repel or you push away? I feel like we can do better than push, I guess is what I'm getting at.
I don't know. I think push is good in that I'm almost certain that you have had a grown man scream push into your face in boot camp, right? When doing push-ups.
I've also had him whisper quietly into my ear in boot camp.
It runs the gamut. But push, I mean, it's right there in the name, right? Push-ups.
Push ups. Push upper. The effort something. The Colossus of effort. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know if we're gonna get any better in Planet Pusher.
I don't think we are. Planet Pusher is like really good, I think.
All right. Fine.
I mean, you came up with it, so
yeah, but it was like the first thing I said, so I
first thing you said was-
enjoy us getting way off track.
I mean, I don't
like to
mind getting way off track, but I think Planet Pusher like is just really good. You
I think
got
we're
it,
just
Mike.
getting better at this because like we've spent like an hour trying to think of one of these before.
That's true.
For the listener, I do edit these down a little bit.
You cut out like the just.
So what you're hearing is the
silence.
good parts.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like
this
like
is the good part right
like
now.
2 minutes of us just sitting here like
It's something, yeah, something.
Come on, guys, you're breaking the illusion.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
I
fine.
vote Planet Pusher.
All right. Yeah, it's good. It's a good one. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
We can do better, but it's fine. Okay, so all right, we have so let's talk metric. So is it literally just the highest number, or do we need to do more than that?
I think so, but I think, like I said, I think we should focus, um, just so we have more to talk about when we come back.
Push a kiss.
Shut up.
No. No.
Focus on your strategy. Did
Okay.
like how many you did? You know what I'm saying.
Sparta push.
Sparta push. We could just change this season. Just make it so they're all Sparta something.
Oh, I like that a lot.
It's too
No.
late. It's
No,
too
too
late.
late.
Sparta push.
Season 3. That'll be season 3.
Yeah, I think you're right, Dan. We should be conscious and put thought into our strategy here, so we have something
Yeah.
to say.
Don't just like do as many as you can and then
Can
wait
we-
until you don't hurt anymore.
Can we come back around to Sparta push?
Doesn't
Nope.
even make any sense this
No.
time, Mike.
Not an option.
Get out of here.
Yeah. It's so good though.
It's not. It
Sparta
doesn't make any
push.
sense.
Does it need to, Dan? Does
It's
it
bad.
really need to?
Ideally, yeah.
See, now I can't remember what we picked. Planet
Sparta
Pusher.
push.
Planet pusher. No. All right, so yeah, put thought into strategy and cumulative push-ups done.
Who do we think's gonna do the best on this one?
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna win, and you guys don't have a chance.
Well, I know. Well,
I was being overly confident there. I don't actually think that.
Well, okay. Speaking physics, Dan is probably lighter than both me and Travis, so he has
True.
less weight to move around. Speaking physically, I don't know. Travis is a beefy guy. He works out.
I used to do 100 push-ups a day.
I was just teaching my son how to do push-ups. We got there in the end. But in that act, I did maybe 10, and I was quite winded afterwards. So
You can get your kids to like join you, and then you can do competitions
that's the
with
intent.
them.
We'll all 5 of us sit in a big circle in the living room and just push the earth away from us. That's the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you might be right that the Dan having less weight to push might be a strong mark in his favor, and that we will have to build up strength to move more mass faster, whereas Dan's a leafy boy.
just a willowy
A waif of a lad.
You know, he's a real tender-hearted.
I'm a man, okay? I have muscles. I can lift things.
Yeah, you'll get there, bud. All right. Sparta push. Got it. All right. So we have our challenge. We have our honorific. We have our metric. Yeah. And we have our... Yeah, we're done. Okay. Sweet. Let's do this.
Sparta push.
Sparta push.
Hi there, it's me, Dan. Thanks for listening to the show. We much appreciate it. Make sure to tell a friend if you're enjoying it and you think that your friend might like it. Currently, me, Mike, and Travis are pushing our bodies to the limit. We're doing as many push-ups as we can, ranking up those numbers. Oh, man, hurting our bodies, doing whatever we can to win. Who's going to win? Is it going to be the wizard or the barbarian or the one lurking in the shadows? Which is which? No one knows. I can't even wait. I can't wait any longer. Let's get back to it. 2 weeks pass by, and you come out into a clearing, and it's back to the show.
Welcome back to the Perpetual Incompetence podcast. As a reminder, we recorded the first part of the podcast 2 weeks ago, and since then we've been doing as many push-ups as we possibly could. Let's discuss our initial thoughts, and then we'll figure out who pushed the planet the most. Who wants to go first? I think Mike should go first, because every time you tell me to go first.
All right, well, that's fair. Yeah, so this started out good. I was confident. I started increasing the amount I was doing every day. I mean, there's not a lot to say about push-ups. I already knew how to do push-ups. So I mean, I did them. I think when I started out, the first day was like I got out of bed and I'm like I'm gonna do push-ups first thing in the morning. So I got out of bed day one and did like I don't know 10 push-ups I think, and that was the last day that I did that. So it's not that I didn't want to. I made myself feel bad for not doing it for the next 2 weeks. So then let's see what else happened that was of note. Oh yeah, I kind of noticed. So like a couple months ago, doing jujitsu, somebody threw the planet Earth at me on my elbow.
Oh,
And I damaged my elbow somehow. I was more or less have been ignoring it, except for when I like kind of pop it against things and there's a shooting pain in my elbow. I noticed that when I do more push-ups, a pain started to grow in said elbow.
that's no good.
Blossomed in your elbow.
Yes, blossomed. Came into its own. But yeah, so I kind of the first week or so I was increasing. I was feeling good, feeling confident, feeling stronger. I was noticing my billowing man breasts were a little less billowy.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, so that I was like, yeah, looking good to myself in the mirror. And then but yeah, I about a week in, I hit my max for a day, which was 125. And as towards the end of that day, I was like, man, I really am in a lot of pain right now. So I kind of slowed down the next day. I did not nearly that much, and then I noticed the pain kind of wasn't going away. So I had to I took a couple days off, and then I didn't do a whole ton after that. So we'll get to the number later on, but that's kind of my whole story. It started off with great ambition that was cut short by my bodily failings.
Well, yeah, I
So
mean, like if
so
if there's risk for injury, I would say you're justified in stopping.
to be fair, I mean, I think the injury was already done. I was just kind of aggravating it. I think it's like nerve damage, if anybody's wondering.
Oh.
And I mean, you were the one that suggested this challenge, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah,
So
so I did this to
nobody
myself.
dragged you into it, but
Yeah. So, but that's my disappointing tale of failure and regret. So, yeah, there you go.
Are we gonna let's
we'll
all give our
We'll
numbers
save
at
it.
the
We'll save it
end?
till later.
Okay, yeah.
yeah. Though I am curious, Dan, when you go over your stuff, if you know your highest single day count, because I've got mine too. We can talk about that also. I'll go into my thing.
Mine was 125.
Okay.
125 push-ups.
Mine was today because I was like, I can just hurt myself, so I just pushed myself as far pretty hard today.
Excellent. I did a little more today too. So. Yeah.
All right. I'll do my spiel here. I will say immediately after we restarted this challenge, when we finished recording the first part of this episode, I guess, I did 40 push-ups that night before going to bed, and immediately after that, my chest was very noodly, and it's like this is going to be a little bit harder than I expected. I don't have nearly as much strength as I thought I did. And then the next morning, I got up like thinking similar to you, Mike, that I was going to knock out a bunch each morning and then kind of heal throughout the day and then knock out more later. And I didn't do that. I always wanted to. And it's probably, if you were like to continue doing this, that'd probably be the way to do it. But I just found my motivation in the morning was very low, so I didn't really do any push-ups in the morning throughout this challenge. For the overall challenge, though, I thought that this was more active than planking, so it felt more satisfying to me because we compared this a little bit to the planking one, and that these physical challenges could be a little bit dry as far as juicy details, but I did find that this was a little bit more active and therefore more satisfying. Did you guys
Well,
feel that way?
Yeah,
well, and also the
I
fact that
agree.
it's cumulative,
Hmm.
um, every single push-up counts. So
Yeah, that's
that
true.
made it feel like every time I did a push-up, that's like another tick up, you know? So it felt like a video game, like trying to get a score almost.
Yeah,
Like I
Yeah.
really actually it really enjoyed it the whole time, I would say.
I agree.
yeah,
I think this is generally a better way to do these kind of competitions, even though it does put in the, more time to if you have more time, it'll make it easier to do. But at the same time, I agree. I felt like I was more when I was actually doing it. I felt I was more productive than when we were doing the planks. And it
right,
was, yeah,
Yeah, what
sure.
we could have done is like total time planking.
yeah. Maybe we'll come back to it.
Yeah.
Maybe, probably not though.
But I mean, as far as like the time thing goes, I don't think that necessarily makes much of a difference because you can churn out, 10 push-ups in like, I don't know, 20 seconds or something like that.
Yeah,
That's
this
true.
one, it wasn't a time constraint so much as a strength constraint. Like
Yeah,
I found that. Go ahead, Mike.
No, that was basically it. Yeah, I was just going to agree. I think there's no excuse for like, oh Dan, you don't have kids, so there's no way we can
Yeah.
beat you. Like
Oh, I
I
will
could
say you
I
probably don't
could have
have
done
kids.
more.
You probably don't have kids climbing on top of you while doing your push-ups.
I have
Yeah,
a
that's
my dog kinda did though. I was actually I was doing push-ups in my living room, and she was up on the couch, like, looking at me trying to figure out what I was doing, then she jumped on my face, and it hurt a lot. Like, dived down and smacked her face into my face. And I was like, knocked my glasses off my face, and it hurt.
That actually reminds me of something I forgot to mention. My oldest son Finn, he was doing push-ups with me, and there was a few times he was like, "Dad, let's do some push-ups." And like, okay, let's do
you,
it.
you had a workout
So
buddy.
yeah, I did. So
Did he
that
count
was
how
pretty
many
great.
he did?
He did. I can say I can do more push-ups than Finn. So
Take that,
that,
buddy.
yeah,
Yeah,
we had to spend some time working on form in the beginning, but we got there in the end. It was pretty good.
yeah, form is a problem in our household also. Today I was trying to like get my numbers up last minute, and Otto, Olivia, and Ada were trying to do them with me, and yeah, there was a lot of like straight arm body lifts, or there was all sorts of variation in technique.
Like a lot of
Um,
like hip thrusting going
yeah,
on. Is
basically.
yeah.
But yeah, Eve throughout this challenge, because most of my push-ups were done in the evenings while watching TV or whatever. Eve would like always either like pat me on top of the head while I was doing push-ups, or would just like lay on my legs. So that was helpful.
A thing Ruby started doing whenever I'm like laying on the ground. So we do jujitsu. The kids. It's basically all the kids attack me.
Hmm.
But Ruby's signature move is she sits on my face and goes stinky diaper. She like bounces on my face.
And it's super effective.
Yeah, it's like I yield. Yeah. Anyway,
Okay, so other techniques, things I tried to do in this challenge. Um, Something I wanted to, I guess my strategy here early on was to try to have enough protein to repair, damaged muscles from doing reps and stuff. So I was, this is pretty typical as far as my diet goes. As I just like eggs and bacon or something for breakfast from the cafeteria at work. And then I have like these little protein shakes that I drink sometimes. So I try to be consistent about that. I was less consistent on that in the second week, and I did feel like I noticed like a decrease in my recovery. So in the second week, um, I don't know, I like every day, the first like 40 or 50 push-ups I did felt pretty good, for pretty easy. and then it got harder from there. But the second week I was like doing 20 or maybe 30, and I was like, oh, I'm pretty tired. These are hard. So I did notice a little bit of a decrease there. If I had been more consistent in high protein intake or whatever, I might have done better. I did try to do incremental sets in my approach, so I wasn't really shooting for failure. I wasn't trying to like drop onto the floor exhausted. I was doing sets of 20 or 30 each time I did them, just because I didn't want to absolutely burn myself out, because I feel like that's a way to make you get zero the next day.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much my approach. Overall, I think this challenge was good and good for me, particularly because I have my fitness test that I need to do push-ups for. But it was, I think, also it was just good in that I feel like my chest got stronger throughout this, obviously, and it did. Um, Doing the push-ups convinced me to do. I did some pull-ups and air squats and other stuff. Just because if you're doing one thing, you might as well do a couple things. So I did get some tangential benefits from it that way too. I don't know that this is like a huge life improvement challenge, but it's a good thing to do. It's probably good to get like an overall body weight uh, fitness routine if you're not doing anything else. Um,
Yeah, and
Beyond
push-ups
that,
are usually like if you're gonna do workout, like that's like one of the things that everybody should be doing is push-ups.
right?
Yeah.
Uh, the only other note I have is there's a show on Netflix called Physical 100. This is like this Korean fitness competition kind of thing. It's basically like gladiatorial games. Anyway, Holly and I watched some of that, and that made me realize how weak and flabby I am. So that was some incentive to push harder.
That show's great. Side
It
note.
is, it is really cool.
Anybody listening should go watch that show because I'm super into it as well.
So yeah, that's me. Those are my notes. I think I did pretty okay on this. I had some shoulder and elbow pain, but nothing that really stopped me too much. I will say I was doing like a couple sets here before we recorded, and Holly was like working in the kitchen, and then she like stopped and looked at me. She's like, What's that noise?" I was like, "Those are my elbows. They they they, they both of them click every time I do a push up."
Oh,
No,
that's a
that's
good
not
way to
good.
like keep count.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, I didn't really feel any pain, but they do click, so that's maybe not the best.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I like the first part of this. I was feeling very motivated to do other things as well. I didn't, but I was thinking to myself, yeah, that would be a good thing to do. One of the things that always happens to me is I'm like, oh, I should go for a run or something. That'd be a good fit thing to do. And then I look outside and I'm like, nah, more
Yeah.
TV would be better for me.
I will say, like, doing these push-ups felt not like an achievement, I guess, but it was doing something. It alleviated the "I've been really lazy today" feeling in me.
Yeah.
Because if you just knock out a couple sets of push-ups, you're like, okay, I did okay.
You did
Yeah,
something.
did
Yeah.
Yeah.
something. That's more than
And,
most people do. You
and
know,
I think like push-ups out of anything like make me feel stronger. Like if I can do a lot of push-ups, I just like feel like healthier and stronger because it's like your
Hmm.
whole upper body basically is getting a workout. And I don't know. I like them.
they
I
Yeah.
kind of
they
hate
they,
doing them, but I like the results of them.
they
Hmm.
make you look stronger too. They work the pretty muscles. You know,
Yeah,
so
they're the most important ones.
yeah, yeah.
All right, Dan, how did this go for you?
Um, yeah, I mean, I so back back in the day when I was pretty fit, like a few years ago, or maybe just a couple years ago, I did like 100 push-ups every other day, and I felt like that was pretty good. So I was thinking, I'll just do 50 every day, and that would be pretty good. Um, and then like the first day I did 50, and I was like, that was way too easy. So then I did 10 more, and I was like, I could do 60 a day. And then I just started doing 100 a day, like One Punch Man, if you're familiar.
Hmm.
You guys are not. Are you familiar?
I
I'm aware of it. I'm not familiar with it.
No. Well,
yeah,
so One
yeah.
Punch Man, this is important. One Punch Man is the strongest being in the planet, and he
Mhm.
does 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 sit-ups, and runs 10 kilometers every day, and then that's how he became the strongest man. So I was
I,
gonna
s-
do
I,
that.
I
So
sort of think that that wouldn't make you the strongest man.
It's
the
just
it's the perfect workout
it's the
routine.
yeah, yeah,
It's
it's
the
very
pinnacle of human achievement.
yeah,
Do those things and no one will beat you.
yeah. So I was trying to do 100 every day, and I would say the first week wasn't much of an issue. Um, I started out doing it in, sets of, like, 10 or 20, and, like, I would spread them out throughout the day. I did the bulk of them probably at work. I would just be sitting at my desk, and then I'd say, "I'm gonna go do some push-ups." Then I go into a room, and I do 20 push-ups and come out. So I kinda fell into, I do, 60 before lunch, and then I do, 40 in the afternoon, and then I would just sorta do that. It worked pretty well. I was feeling pretty good. I bought a bunch of bananas and ate a whole bunch of protein because that's supposed to make your muscles not hurt quicker.
Mhm.
Um, I looked into getting steroids like the bodybuilders do,
Mhm.
but it turns out those are mostly illegal and expensive, so I didn't I decided not to go that way.
It's probably bad for you.
And then I kinda started feeling, shoulder pain and soreness, just as the week went on, so, um, I took the first Saturday off, and I did 0 that day, um, and, actually, did you know that there's, a February do 100 push-ups a day challenge? That's
I did not know that.
it's like an internet thing. So I
Oh,
was thinking like, "Oh, yeah, that's cool. I can do that with people." But then I read about it and all the people were saying that it's not good and your muscles need time to, heal and, strengthen.
Yeah.
If you just do 100 every day, then they don't get a chance to. So I was like, "I'll take a day off, but then I'm gonna hit it hard the next week." So my plan was then the next week I do 120 every day.
oof.
So I did 120 on the next Sunday, and then I hurt a lot. I call it the meandering pain because it was like a different part of my body hurt a lot every day. So, it was the shoulders, and it would move to, my legs, and then it would go to, my low back, and my biceps started hurting really bad.
Do you
Apparently you
I
use your
I wonder
biceps.
I wonder if you do you know what a push-up is, Dan? Because it
Yeah,
sounds
I
like you
don't
might be
know.
doing them wrong.
You use them. I don't know what it is. They're actually in the most pain right now. But as I've mentioned before, I work with some world-class physical therapists, so I would ask them about it, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, that can happen," you know? And then they mentioned, I'm probably fine, but if I get, really bad pain in my bicep, I'm at risk for tendinopathy, and I sent you guys a
Oh.
text that said, "Hey, if you have, really bad pain in, your biceps, you should slow down." So, I slowed down, basically. I don't know. I have a whole chart. Um, I actually wrote down every single set that I did.
Same.
So, I have 10, 10, 20, 20, 20, 10, and then every once in a while, there's, a 1 or a 2. And I took a picture of it, and I can upload it. But, yeah, and then my low back hurt really bad, so I sorta, I wasn't feeling, tired, but I was feeling a lot of pain, but I just sorta pushed through it. Um, and, I think, spreading them out throughout the day really helped because if I've done, 100 push-ups all at once before, and then, you hurt for, 2 days after that.
Yeah, that
But
sounds terrible.
Yeah.
doing, 20 and then wait 2 hours, do 20, wait 3 hours, do 20, it seemed to really work pretty well. I don't know. Um,
Yeah, I did
yeah.
pretty similar though, doing them in the evening. I was like while we're watching TV, I would do 20, 25 or whatever. And then even I don't know, 20 minutes later, I could do another 20 and I found that until you got up there and, over 100 or whatever, you didn't actually really start burning out.
Yeah.
So, that's a pretty good way to do it, I think.
Yeah, but, it's more like after you've been like today, I did a whole bunch of them, and you could really feel the last 2 weeks. My body, like, I'm gonna hurt a lot tomorrow. Um, I'll just say I did 200 today, um,
That's a
and
lot.
I feel like I might have gone too far because my arms hurt a lot. I did convince a few other people to join me in push-ups, but I don't know. I can do a lot of push-ups, so you know.
My highest single day was 195. And I didn't tally them up as I went. I just like wrote the numbers down as I completed sets. Had I known I had done 195, I would have done 6 more to get 201.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I beat you by 5.
Yeah. But
Uh,
okay. So it sounds like I think I had a similar one. My highest one was last Sunday where I did 195, and I think that really high count day is part of why I didn't do as many, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's where my recovery went down, I think. So probably not worthwhile going for broke until this last day, like today. I probably could have done more. We can take a pause here, and I'll do 30 more right now.
Too late.
yeah.
All right, do we want to let's say the numbers?
I will go first because I know I lost because so my grand sad total is 510, and basically all of those are from week number 1, and week number 2 I kind of was like I don't want to hurt myself,
Yeah.
so so that's where we're at, and I
All right.
lost.
Dan, are you above? I mean, I'm guessing you're above 1,000.
I am.
Are you above 1,200?
I am.
1,400?
No.
What are you at?
I have 1,290.
All
Ooh.
right. I
Back
ended
here. I'm
with
gonna post my. Oops. Yeah.
I ended at 1,501.
Oh, look at you.
Dang.
One more
You
for the
kidding
core.
me?
No,
That's too many. You can't do that many push-ups.
That is
I'll do them right
three
now.
three times as many as I did.
I just
Yeah, so
uploaded
here's
my
See it?
schedule that I did.
Good job.
my numbers. I'm not gonna read all of them, but this is first day, like I said, 40, and then 85, 100, 75, 70, 105, 195, 115, 80, 90, 135. I did take one day where I was like, I'm not gonna do any, and then I did 20, just because I felt like I should do something.
Yeah.
80, 140, 86, and then I did a bunch today that I didn't keep as close track of. I basically like I got to 1,401, and then I was like, it'd be cool if I got to 1,500, so I just pushed to that, and then I had to get one more.
I did have a note written down here that I think is worth mentioning. So I think if I was fighting towards Sparta push, I would have pushed through the pain. That's why I just want that to be out there.
I
Sparta
see.
push.
So I took 2 full days off, which
Yeah.
I think killed me on this one. I could have done. I don't know. Honestly, if I did push-ups those days, I might have like exploded my muscles.
Yeah, I did 3 days where I didn't do any, and so 2 of them were kind of right after was right after I was broken, and then but then the day that we did the polar plunge, I didn't do any. So
I did a few that day. Well,
Yeah.
so I felt really dumb because I I at the end that was on Saturday, and I was really close to 1,000 that day. So I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll just do enough to do 1,000," and then I ended up doing 10 more than 1,000. So I ruined it. So I had to do a bunch more then.
well, I think we have our winner. Does anybody have any closing thoughts? I guess my closing thought is I think I like you were saying, any exercise you do, whatever it is, it's worth doing as long as you're doing something. Push-ups are nice. They're like real condensed, easy, quick to knock out, you know. So
I think they do feel like rewarding too.
yeah.
There's something about like, I don't know, the first 10 or 15 where you're just kind of knocking them out, and like you feel, I don't know, powerful, I guess. It's before the fatigue sets in, and before you're like, oh, I should probably be able to do more than this. Before that hits, then you're like, I'm strong. I'm a healthy human being, and that's kind of a nice feeling. But it does tend to not last as long as it should.
So what was your total again?
1,501.
1,501. All right. I guess you earned it.
I'll let
I
you
mean,
have it.
I will say I didn't. Holly tallied these up for me while we're getting the kids to bed. I didn't check her math, but I'm pretty sure she would be better at it than I would be. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's accurate. Sorry, guys. I don't want to like let you guys win, but I do feel bad crushing you.
So I think this is one that I might keep doing it. I kind of like, I mean, I won't do it every single day, but I kind of like just doing push-ups throughout the day. It felt really good. Well, it felt really bad, but it felt good to do it. I feel like I see the difference even in just 2 weeks, like for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, even like so after week 1, I felt like I could actually see a difference in my like arms and chest, you know,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
important bits. And you know, I mean, granted you're like tight from working out, but your muscles feel swollen and bigger. So
Yeah.
you know, you feel like you look look at how muscular I am. Just look at these giant guns.
I'm not gonna
Uh,
Yeah.
lie. I'm not familiar with One Punch Man or whatever, but that that exercise routine that you listed, it'd be a little bit more time consuming than I'd like to. But I was sort of flirting with the idea of like developing a daily routine that I could do consistently. Something, push-ups, crunches, pull-ups,
Well, I think
squats.
Mike Tyson did 500 push-ups every day or something like that.
That's
yeah,
absurd.
But
that's
I mean,
Mike
he's
Tyson.
also, he was the
The world.
heavyweight champion of
He's
the
a
world.
champ. Yeah.
So,
So if you want to be the heavyweight champion of the world, just do 500 push-ups a day, and it's yours.
And they'll
That's
just
how it
send you a
works out.
trophy in the mail.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, yeah. So you were talking about like a daily routine. I think obviously I think I need to kind of stay away from push-ups for a little bit, but you can do stuff like burpees, which are more full body and they incorporate push-ups, but they're not as many push-ups to get the
And
workout
and they're
in.
the worst.
They're the
Burpees are
absolute worst.
terrible.
Yeah, they're awful, but you get a lot of workout in a little bit of time. So
now presenting the Planet Pusher, Travis Braband.
Thanks, guys. This was sort of a fun challenge. It was more engaging than the planking one, so that was nice. There's parts of this that I enjoyed. We've just spent, roughly a half hour talking about it. So, yeah, I think that there is value in people doing this or something like this. Bodyweight fitness is kind of a really convenient way to slowly develop strength and flexibility and that sort of thing. And it's just good to kind of challenge yourself physically and kind of identify what your limits are and then push past those and, build up a little bit of strength. And if you can get into a routine and keep that going, then all the better. Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody, and go do some push-ups. Thanks.
You did great. Next time on Perpetual Incompetence. When we say Little Seeky Boy, it sounds silly, but I'm also imagining, like the little prince. He's floating on his planets, going through the stars. That's how I picture Little Seeky Boy. Just kind of floating around space,
floating in space, seeking his destiny,
seeing his, yeah.
trying to figure it all out.
It's kind of beautiful.
Also, next time on Perpetual Incompetence.
We should very clearly define the goals we have for our lives. Professionally, personally, socially, any of that stuff.